on the glittering, sun-drenched canvas of Los Angeles, where the bold and the beautiful paints its tales of high fashion and even higher drama, the most potent stories are often woven from the darkest threads. Currently, no thread is darker or more volatile than the saga of Luna Nozawa. Trapped in a psychological prison of her own making after an unintentional, MDMA-laced mint cookie incident led to a traumatic night with Zend Forrester Dominguez, Luna's world has collapsed. Her relationship with R.J. Forrester hangs by a thread, her mother Poppy is shrouded in secrecy, and her own sense of self has been shattered. In the shadows of this vulnerability, a predator lies in wait, Sheila Carter. To believe Sheila is a passive observer in this crisis is to fundamentally misunderstand her character. She is a master tactician of chaos, and Luna's desperation presents a unique opportunity. The most intriguing path to Sheila's intervention wouldn't be through direct force, but by exploiting a dormant, past connection, a connection not with Luna herself, but with the woman at the center of the mystery, Poppy Nozawa. The Foundation, revisiting the Poppy Sheila history. The show has already laid the groundwork for this explosive possibility. Months ago, during one of Sheila's brief periods of attempted redemption, a chance encounter at Il Giardino revealed a stunning history between her and Poppy. They recognized each other from a shared past in San Francisco, a past Poppy was visibly terrified to have unearthed. The dialogue was deliberately vague, hinting at a time of struggle and desperation. Poppy, a single mother trying to survive, and Sheila, a fugitive navigating the underworld, likely crossed paths in a gritty, desperate environment far removed from the opulence of the Forrester mansion. This was not a simple acquaintance. The fear in Poppy's eyes was visceral. It suggests she didn't just know Sheila, she knew what Sheila was capable of, and perhaps, more chillingly, Sheila knew Poppy's secrets. This shared history is a narrative Chekhov's gun, hanging on the wall and waiting to be fired. For Sheila, information is currency, and the blackmail potential of Poppy's past, a past that may involve the true paternity of Luna, the source of the mysterious, special, mints, or other illicit activities, is a weapon of mass destruction. The strategy, weaponizing shared trauma and isolation. Sheila's modus operandi has evolved. While she remains capable of shocking violence, her tenure with Deacon Sharp has honed a more nuanced approach. She understands the power of perceived kinship. Luna, in her current state, is the perfect candidate for this kind of psychological manipulation. She feels betrayed by her mother, judged by the Forresters, and isolated from RJ. She is drowning in guilt and shame, viewing her accidental high as a moral failing rather than a victimization. Sheila could position herself not as a savior, but as the only one who truly understands. Imagine a scene in the Forrester CEO office, or a quiet corner of the beach. Sheila approaches Luna not with the fury she showed Brooke or the obsession she directs at Steffi, but with a unsettling, calculated empathy. Sheila, I see you, Luna. I see the way they look at you. The sweet, innocent girl who made a terrible mistake. They put you in a box, and the second you step out of it, they don't know what to do with you. They'll never understand what it's like to be trapped by a mistake, to have your entire life defined by one moment you can't take back. But I do. This pitch is insidiously brilliant. Sheila reframes Luna's narrative from one of accidental poisoning to one of societal judgment, mirroring her own perennial claim of being unfairly persecuted. She would present Poppy's secrecy not as protection, but as a weakness, a mother who is too fragile to handle the hard truths of the world. Sheila, in contrast, would offer the truth, no matter how brutal. She would promise Luna the one thing she craves, freedom from the guilt and the confines of her good girl image. The leverage, unlocking Poppy's vault of secrets. The key to breaking Luna free, in Sheila's mind, would be to shatter the foundation of her prison, her trust in her mother. This is where the past connection becomes an active tool. Sheila wouldn't just offer empty words of understanding, she would provide tangible, devastating evidence. Scenario 1. The true paternity of Luna. The prevailing theory is that Bill Spencer is Luna's father. But what if Sheila's knowledge goes deeper? What if she knows that Poppy's history is even more complicated? Sheila could reveal to Luna that her conception was tied to a much darker time, perhaps involving crime, deception, or a different man entirely, a truth Poppy has buried to craft a more palatable life for them both. This revelation would fundamentally alter Luna's identity, making her question everything she knows about herself and freeing her from the pressure of living up to a legacy that was built on a lie. Scenario 2. The origin of the mints. The mystery of the mints is the immediate source of Luna's trauma. Poppy has been evasive and Lee Finnegan has been accusatory. Sheila, from her San Francisco days, might have been privy to Poppy's source for these special supplements. She could reveal that Poppy has been using them for years to cope, or that their acquisition was tied to a shady network Sheila herself was part of. By exposing Poppy not as a careless mother, but as a long-time user of questionable substances, Sheila would reframe the entire incident. Luna was not a victim of a one-time accident, but of her mother's sustained pattern of behavior. This would transfer Luna's anger and confusion from herself to Poppy, effectively freeing her from the burden of being the sole guilty party. Armed with this ammunition, Sheila's proposition to Luna would be simple. Your mother's secrets are your chains. I can give you the key. Stop living in the shadow of her lies. Embrace who you are now, without the guilt. You are stronger than they think you are. This is a siren song to a lost and hurting young woman. The fallout, a devil's bargain. If Luna were to accept this twisted mentorship, the fallout would be catastrophic for the canvas, which is precisely what makes it such a compelling narrative. The destruction of the Poppy-Luna bond, the maternal relationship, once the cornerstone of Luna's life, would be irrevocably broken. The trust would be replaced with bitterness and betrayal. Poppy's worst fear, her past destroying her daughter's future, would be realized, with Sheila as the grinning architect. RJ versus the new Luna. RJ's love for Luna is based on her purity and kindness. A Luna freed by Sheila would be darker, more defiant, and emotionally hardened. She might push RJ away, believing he could never love this new, truthful version of herself. This would create a heart-wrenching rift for one of the show's core young couples. Sheila's power expansion, successfully turning Luna, would be Sheila's greatest victory in years. It would prove that her influence can extend beyond her immediate circle of enemies and into the next generation. She would have a direct pipeline into the Forrester family through RJ's girlfriend, a spy, and a disciple operating from within. The paranoia at the mansion would be palpable. An unlikely alliance, this scenario could force Poppy, Lee, and even the Forresters into an uneasy alliance. Their shared goal would be to save Luna from Sheila's clutches, forcing characters who despise each other to work together against a greater evil. This plotline would be thematically rich, exploring the very meaning of the word free. Luna would be trading one prison for another. She might be freed from the immediate guilt of the cookie incident, but she would be enslaving herself to Sheila Carter, becoming a pawn in a game she doesn't understand. It echoes the classic B&B trope of legacy and inheritance, but instead of inheriting a company, Luna would be inheriting a cycle of trauma and manipulation, passed from one generation of troubled women to the next. Sheila's definition of freedom is the freedom from societal rules and moral consequences. By offering this to Luna, she is offering her a version of herself. The ultimate horror would be if it worked, creating a mini Sheila not by blood, but by ideology, a far more terrifying and tragic outcome. Conclusion: a ticking time bomb. The pieces are all in place. The shared history between Sheila and Poppy is established canon. Luna's vulnerable, fractured state is the central drama of the current narrative. Sheila's cunning and resourcefulness are undimmed. It is not a matter of if Sheila will attempt to exploit this situation, but when. Could Sheila rely on a past connection to break Luna free? Absolutely. It is the most logical and dramatically potent move available to her character. It would allow the writers to delve into a fascinating, dark mentorship, explode the lingering mysteries surrounding Poppy, and create a seismic shift in the dynamics of the show's younger generation. Luna is crying out for a lifeline, and in the twisted world of the bold and the beautiful, there is no one more ready to offer a poisoned one than Sheila Carter. The only question that remains is whether Luna, in her desperation, will be fooled into taking it, trading the gilded cage of the Forrester crest for the sinister freedom of Sheila's shadow. The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B. Spoilers hint that Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, could plot some prison escape chaos. Will Luna flee the slammer with multiple revenge targets? B&B fans know Luna was livid when she realized she wasn't receiving a get-out-of-jail-free card after all. Thanks to Electra Forrester's Linnea Grace phone call to the cops, Luna was arrested for her most recent crimes at the beach house. Now that Luna's looking at another lengthy stint behind bars, she may be desperate to find a fresh path out of trouble. Luna's pregnancy scheme isn't working out as well as she hoped, so she might decide she needs a new strategy. Katie Logan, Heather Tom, suggested she could eventually take custody of the baby with Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, and make sure Luna's son or daughter never even finds out who she is. Luna struggled with questions about her father her entire life, so that definitely got under her skin. The thought of Luna's baby being yanked away from her and never knowing she's their mother has to be infuriating for her. With that in mind, Luna may decide that escaping and getting as far away from the Spencers as possible may be her only option. If Luna finally accepts that Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, is never going to love or stand up for her, she might be willing to try this alternative approach. Perhaps Luna could sell her victim act to a naive guard and score some assistance. Luna might even get some help from Sheila Sharp Kimberlin Brown, who has experience breaking out of jail. Whatever the case, prison facilities tend to be pretty easy to break out of when a soap story calls for it. If B&B writers decide Luna should make a quick getaway, then they'll make it happen somehow. Luna would be smart to just disappear into the night, but her vengeful desires might win out in the end. It's easy to imagine Luna going after multiple payback targets on her way out of town. Luna could hunt down Electra, along with anyone else she feels has wronged her. That list might include Will, Katie, Bill, Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, and especially Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, once she's back in town. Luna could target any or all of those characters if she escapes on a vengeful spree, so stay tuned for updates on any bad news that might be brewing. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Luna's troublemaking days may not be over just yet. CDL will have other exciting Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, updates, and news to read up on, so make us your top source. The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB, spoilers for the week of October 20th to 24th reveal that fans will see the countdown to Steffi Forrester's, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, outrage while Remy Price's, Christian Weissman, awful secret is at risk. Although Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, was thankfully arrested, that doesn't mean Steffi will be pleased about the updates she comes home to. Steffi is set to return to Los Angeles soon, so it won't be long until she gets all the latest Luna news. Once Steffi finds out Luna is alive and that she targeted Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, in such a horrible way, she's going to be furious. The fact that Luna is now carrying John Finnegan's, Tanner Novlin, grandchild may leave Steffi deeply unsettled as well. Nevertheless, Finn will hope to convince Steffi that their family with Hayes Finnegan, Brian David Garlick, and Kelly Spencer, Sophia Parras, is always going to be his priority. Although Steffi, Finn, Kelly, and Hayes have some happy reunion scenes coming up, Steffi is bound to be upset over Finn, Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, leaving her in the dark on the Luna mayhem until now. Steffi may want to confront Luna now that she's behind bars, so a prison face-off could be coming up for these two sooner or later. For now, Finn will await Steffi's homecoming and prepare for the wild Luna blows he'll have to deliver to his wife. In the meantime, B&B spoilers say Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, will hope that his sneaky move pays off. After slipping his portfolio in a stack full of other designers' work, Deke will impress Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and everyone else at Forrester Creations. Hope should forgive Deke's deception and support the idea of him taking the lead on designing her revamped fashion line. Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, should be thrilled for Deke as they form a fast friendship, but Remy's secret will obviously lead to trouble. The closer Deke gets to Electra, the worse things will be for Remy when his boyfriend finds out about all the stalker deepfake drama. As for Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, he should take steps toward rebuilding his future with Hope. Liam and Hope seem poised to head down the road to remarriage sooner or later, so stay tuned for their efforts to put their family with Beth Spencer, Jordan Grace, back together. Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, will continue to lean on Daphne Rose, more the bold and the beautiful. B&B, spoilers for Thursday, October 16th, reveal that Hope Logan, Annika Noel, will make an amazing discovery after Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, pulls off a daring designer move. B&B fans know Deke's been hanging around Forrester Creations with his portfolio, which he propped up in the design office. However, Deke will find a better place for it once he wraps up his latest conversation with Hope. Deke and Hope will continue to fret over Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, and the marriage struggles he's dealing with thanks to Sheila Sharp's, Kimberlyn Brown, secrets blowing up. Once Hope and Deke finish discussing their dad's drama, Deke will sneak his portfolio into the pile in the CEO office. Hope has been trying to settle on a new designer to help our